How we doing? That game right there is in honor of Don James. If it was 40 degrees and raining, he would have been extremely proud of running the ball and playing defense like that. And so I'm proud of our guys. I thought they did an awesome job. I think UCLA has an extremely powerful, potent offense. Our guys kept things in front of them, stopped the run, played really, really well. And we got a plan to run the ball, and you got to stick with it. Be stubborn sometimes. At the end of the day, it kind of works out like you like to. And so I'm proud of how those guys played, and it's good to get back on the field and get a W.
How pleased were you with them today? Also knowing that not only did you do that, you got 3 going forward.
We think we have more than that. I think that's a good crew. And I think our line did a nice job of keeping guys covered up. At times they were physical and knocking them back. But for the most part, they were covering them up. And if you keep them covered up long enough, those guys will find creases. And I thought they all ran very well today.
Was Savon at kickoff return? Was that a planned deal, or was that just a next man up?
No, he's been in the mix from day one. And, obviously Savon had a very nice day today. But when he hit the one kickoff, we changed some things scheme-wise on our kickoff return and really challenged our guys. I think Dante will tell you, as a returner, nothing's going to happen unless the guys up front get something done. And that one that he hit, I'm very anxious to go put the tape on, because that was felt as clean as I've seen it in a long time. And the only thing, I'm surprised he didn't score. I guess we got to coach him up to run faster. But that was blocked really well.
To after your 2 top cornerbacks out, to shut down what you did.
No.
Is that beyond expectation?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate he didn't get to play the whole game. Hopefully he's okay. But I think he starts up front. I think our guys are in his face, and he's a hard guy to get to. And I think we got to him a couple times, which was really good. And we got some good players back there, and those coaches do a nice job of moving the pieces around. These guys understand what we're doing, and they play fast.
In terms of those young corners, how do you feel they did in terms of playing assignment football, knowing their role, and I guess not trying to do too much in a setting like this?
Yeah, all those things I think were good. Now to get down to the nitty gritty and the details, we got to put the tape on and all those and see what really shook down. But I think UCLA's they're a powerful, potent offense for sure, and did a nice job taking the run game away and then keeping things in front of us. And those guys did a nice job.
Coach, Jake only threw the ball 11 times, but it was a couple of throws that looked a little bit iffy and, just down on the goal line. What did you see from Jake today?
Yeah, the one on the goal line, Dante, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, part of that RPO game. Sometimes you got to decide, and then they can change the coverage and bail on you, and you don't have a whole lot of options right there. We only threw it 11 times, which is kind of unusual, certainly for us. Didn't go into the game saying we're going to throw the ball very few times. That wasn't necessarily the plan. The plan was to run the ball and see how that would go. The only one was probably the interception. I think you saw the corner kind of high there, and trying to sneak one into Miles, I think it was, and we had a crosser coming. But those things happen, and when he gets I think the pass game can be like the run game. He didn't get a lot of opportunities to get into a rhythm and really get it going, and put that on the run game and got into that rhythm.
You play quarterback. If you're only throwing the ball 11 times, is it hard to get in a rhythm?
Well, it just depends. Certain times, certain games there are, there's not. And, I know Jake would never say, well, it's because I was in a rhythm right away. He still completed 8-11, so and he's still pretty efficient. So let's talk about Tristan. What do you want?
Well, talking to him, he seemed pretty pleased about the way things went. For you, what was it like to see a young man like that do as well as he did and have confidence with what he did?
Yeah, I just felt if he made his first one, he was going to, it's going to be a big weight off his shoulders. And just kicked well for 2 weeks. I've been saying it. He can kick, not just chip shots. He's got a powerful leg, and he can make. He's seen him for 2 weeks straight. He just felt like he was in a good groove. And he just needed to go out there in front of 70,000 people and say, "See, I can do this," and then away he goes.
He said he did have a couple of mechanical things that he was trying to work on. But can you maybe kind of tell us a little bit about maybe some of the details?
Yeah, I think the details are is him swinging just nice rhythm swing and watching the spot and trusting his like technique and all those type of things. I mean, I really do. I mean, there's some little things that they'll do, but I think it's just a matter of him focusing on those and not making field goals. You know, you don't try to focus on anything else except for you just trust your technique. I think when things get hard for guys, you know, you're always, the only way to get out of things is just, you're gonna fall back on your technique and your fundamentals. And if you're thinking about anything else, when things get hard, whether it's on offense, defense, whatever, when things get hard, you're gonna resort to about how you're coached, and if you can focus on those things, you're gonna get out of things. And until then, it's a hard game, but if you do that, you can simplify things.
As a tandem, was that as well as you've seen games and data played?
Those two guys, yeah. Those guys are powerful guys, and they did a really nice job. And it was interesting because we kind of talked to him about this might take a while to get to Rosen a little bit. You know, he's I got a lot of respect for, you know, everybody knows how he throws it, but I just really admire how he plays in that pocket and doesn't take a lot of sacks and doesn't get hit. And we got him right away, you know, and so all this great psychology was out the window because they said, we're probably not going to get him for a while, and they got him right away. And they're all looking at me and I said, keep going. So that was good. And Vita was, you know, a couple times pushing that pocket back, having to throw at guys in his face. You guys did a nice job.
How is Hunter doing?
I don't know. You guys know what I know. The trainers don't know. You know, we take some x-rays and go from there.
Coach, it's not quite 4:30, game's over, and you're almost done dealing with this. Does it feel a little weird?
It feels really good. That's all I'll say. Good day, huh?
With as heavy as you guys were with the run today, how much of that was a case of trying to take advantage of UCLA's weakness, and how much of it was trying to get back to basics after Arizona State?
Well, I think it's always a combination of all those things. I think it's never, you know, that's what the coaches do all the time during the week is, you know, what do we do well? What do we think we can, you know, maybe get done against those guys? And we didn't go into the game, like I said, planning to throw the ball 11 times and not really much downfield. I mean, we always have some really fun, explosive stuff that we think we're going to get to, but for whatever reason, we just didn't. Kind of how the first half went, and then how our defense was playing. You know, the run game to keep getting it into a rhythm was good.
Joyner seemed very excited about getting sacked on the corner blitz there. He said,
Who did?
Joyner.
Oh, heck yeah. Those guys, when they get sacked the quarterback, they don't get that many opportunities. So when they can get in there, yeah, they love that call. And sometimes it'll be a corner, depending on the splits and what the formation is, it gets called off and the safety gets the blitz instead of the corner. So when they actually get the blitz, they're extremely excited.
First impressions of the left tackle?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't see much of it. But when I didn't hear their names and it didn't show up with a sack and all those things, I mean, I think both those guys, you know, are good players. And they had a good 2 weeks. And like I said, I mean, Andrew Kirkland's, he's taken a lot of reps around here. He's played a lot of games, and so he's a nice guy to have around here. We can put in multiple positions, and did a good job.
Chris, obviously they had a couple reps here, a couple series here and there. What was the kind of the game plan to try to use them going in?
Those two guys, get them both a couple series early, and then Coach Huff was just going to kind of go accordingly to what he felt. And yeah, I didn't know really who played how much after I knew they were going to get the first reps, and we're focused on other things. And nobody's showing up is a problem, so that's all good. And you know, I'm anxious to go back and really put that tape on to see those two players as well.
What would you say it's like to where on one hand with Andrew, you have a guy who's versatile and experienced, but with Luke, he's someone that while he's still young, there's a lot of upside there. What's it like to kind of work with that and know that you can kind of do what you want with those two?
Yeah. Well, I think the more that Luke gets comfortable with our system, you know, those are good players to have. And they're not necessarily a left guard or left tackle. I mean, Kirkland's played every position, I think, except for center. And we had Luke at one time at the right guard. And, you know, we'll move guys around. And it's just a matter of putting quality reps on tape. And if those are the best players that we have, then they're gonna play. I mean, there's competition at all times.
You mentioned the same was for Don James. How much of Don was mentioned during the week or incorporated into the game day?
Yeah, I think it was just what a great day, what a great, weekend. I mean, starting with the statue and all the players coming back and, seeing that whole thing. And then to have a beautiful day game like so that they used to have when he was, here, I think it was awesome.
Coach, being in the coaching fraternity, did you ever cross paths with Coach James? Get to talk to him?
So I got to meet him one time out here on the field. And I really remember this thinking, that's, I'm going to get together with this guy one day and, exchange notes. And that obviously never happened. But I was saying this earlier in the week that, on the radio show that we do, there was some audio of him talking and explaining some things. And I kind of looked at Elise Woodward and said, where'd you get that? And so that's my next thing, is to maybe dig up some tapes of him talking and explaining what he was, his philosophies, which I've heard and read so much about already. But that was very, very intriguing to me.
Was that when you were here with Boise State in 20?
Correct. Yeah, I think it was probably might have been the first time we came over here and played.
2007?
Yeah, is when I think I met him that time. Mm-hmm.
Of course, today you were able to get 20 points in the first half. What was it like to kind of get off to that start, knowing that your previous 4 games, I believe, you combined to score 24 points? What do you think that did for you in terms of momentum?
Yeah, I think when you get off the fast starts, it's, you get momentum, you get confidence. I think it's, I say it every week, it's a game of confidence. It's a game of confidence, and when you're feeling like you can do things, you play better, you play looser, you play faster, you play freer. And I think those starting fast and playing a good first half is really important to what we do.
When you think back in that first half, what do you think was kind of the aha moment for your offense in terms of them realizing that, okay, we can get the fast start and we can kind of put this thing away?
Yeah, I don't think there's an aha moment. We have a good offense. We had one game where we didn't play like we're capable of playing. We have a good offense. We got good players. We score points.
Once you start imposing your will on an opponent, you start to fall. You start to get tired. We started to up the tempo a little bit, so I started getting a little tired. And we were just keep on going. We're big on that in practice, trying to go fast and O-line get on the ball because it all starts with us. So it was all up. Tempo was good for that, and just our will, just to impose that will.
Worked out, finally be able to bounce back, seeing everything come to fruition. Like I said, it was a good feeling. Kind of affirmed, the confidence that I've been having in myself and knowing what I'm capable of. So, yeah.
I mean, they were physical. They didn't quit. And no matter if it was 2 yards, 3 yards, or a break, run, they kept fighting, they kept pounding, they kept going, kept motivated, kept talking to each other. Communication was big on the front, so they did a really good job up front.
And how exciting does that make you when you get that play called and those guys are finishing their blocks and you get behind the quarterback and get ready to make a run?
I mean, you feel good. You feel safe knowing that those dudes are working, their hardest that they can, and it just feels good.
You're an LA guy. Is this one a little bit more special?
Yeah, I'm a Lompo guy. I'm a Lompo guy. But a win is a win. And we're going into this week 0-0. Learn from the mistakes that we made in this game. Get our fundamentals right. Focus on us, and get ready for next week.
UCLA recruit you at all?
Yeah.
And?
Ken Washington.
You guys had a week off. How important was it to get back on the field, and how did that feel to really get back on the field to bye week and then begin to play?
I mean, it felt good, to get the bad taste out of your mouth, get ready for practice, get ready for the next week, not focus on what happened in the past, and really just focus on your fundamentals and focusing on us and what we need to fix in order to get ready.
And just like I think you just mentioned this, but how important is it on the business end of your schedule? Well, now, you got a few more games, you got to focus on execution and getting results.
I have a game Saturday coming up. That's all we're focused on right now.
So one game at a time.
One game at a time. 0-0. That's the determination of the front five. They were working their butts off. They were physical up front, and they kept pounding no matter how many yards it was. And then eventually, you wear down defenses over time with that.
I mean, we kind of look at their stats coming in. They haven't been great against the run, so I think we kind of thought we were going to, run the ball a little bit, and we started gashing them early, so we just kept doing it. And they broke by fixing it. So that all starts up front. I think pretty much everything starts up front. So when you run for that many yards, there's definitely some things getting done on the O-line, and obviously that was the case today.
And having said that, your receivers are obviously blocking downfield as well.
Yeah. I think they're pretty physical. I can't really see that as much.
Yeah.
That's not as obvious to me because I'm hand it off, try to carry out a fake, and so. you know, I'm sure they were though if we were running the ball like we were.
And then get back on the field after the bye. How did that feel? Just get back in competition.
Yeah, felt good. You know, got a bad taste in your mouth, but you know, still got to motivate you to keep. You know, never forget how that felt to lose. You know, down at ASU and kind of have that motivating.
Coming off a loss, you had 14 days to get ready for this one. You had to be eager to get back out there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had to wait for an extra week, but it let us focus on everything we need to focus on and get our mind back on the right path. So come out here a little stronger and keep moving forward.
I think it starts with the week of preparation, practice, and all that. But I just think we just watched a lot of film and stuff like that, and I think we came into it like, yeah, we can do some things against those guys. So I think that's what we expected from the first half.